Cardano may rally 40% if this scenario repeats itself. Cardano continues to be one of the fan favorites, and yet there's still so much uncertainty about what is going to happen. We're going to be talking about that in this video. We've had some exciting updates with Jed. We've had some exciting updates with adoption coming into space. But what is the likelihood that Cardano continues to the upside? Because while articles like we're going to examine in this video are still pointing for 40% to the upside, there still is a chance that a dip is coming, and I'm going to prepare you for what those levels look like. Let's start off with that article, though, and then we'll jump over to the charts. So breaking down this article, it goes into detail about what we've seen on Cardano in the past, mainly talking about transactions of $100,000 or more. And the last time we saw this many happen, we saw 40% rise within weeks. This is according to a tweet over here by Santiment, where he says Cardano whale numbers have risen in 2023 and large transactions have notably broken out. The last time there were this many 100,000 plus 88 transactions was in May, and its price jumped plus 36% from the beginning of that week up until its local top here in early June. And you guys can see this here on the chart. Is this a nail in the coffin that the bull market is back for Cardano? Not necessarily. However, it is very good to see all of these whales jumping in as we're getting all of these bullish stories from Cardano's ecosystem. And now it's time to examine, is that 40% jump realistic? Let's go take a look at what it is and look at a couple other things popping up on the charts. But before we do that, make sure you leave a like for the video, and if you're new here, subscribe for more content just like this, as well as our daily live show from 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Let's start off here on the daily chart with some traditional TA before we move into some more complex stuff. But there's a couple things I want to point out just about where price action is at this moment. Currently, Cardano, similar to other projects, is setting up both bearish and bullish divergences where the peaks of the RSI and the valleys of the RSI are moving in the opposite direction of price action. You can see we are flowing to the downside all the while we're moving to the upside. But guess what we're starting to form here on our RSI? Just like we can see formations on the price action, the RSI can give us some formations as well. And currently, with both descending levels of resistance and support on the RSI, but yet they're converging, we find ourselves in a falling wedge pattern, which traditionally breaks to the upside. To make a case for the bears, this still is bearish divergence on the upside and could prove to be pretty heavy, especially when looking at other oscillators that have been flashing overbought for a while now out here on the daily chart. However, with that formation looking on the RSI, there still is a chance the bulls have some rallying left to do, and there's some other indicators giving us a sign that that could happen. One of the things that I've been looking for with Cardano is as we're wrestling with this 200 daily SMA, can we finally conquer it the way we've seen it happen over on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others? And just here over the last 2 days of the making of this video, we've closed above it once again and currently are wrestling with it as we speak. We're also seeing a form of a golden cross happening down here with our 50 crossing over our 100. So keep this in mind as we're looking at Cardano. Can we continue to turn these support levels that have been resistance for so long into support and move to the upside? Another thing we've been talking about for months now, all the way since back here in May of 2022, is this falling wedge pattern that Cardano has found itself in. And we've discussed how this would give us a price prediction somewhere in the range of 55 to 56 cents. And when you go and extrapolate some other details like peaks we had back in August and July of 2022, this gives us a nice little range of 54 to 55 cents all the way up closer towards 60. So, not only do we have the falling wedge pattern, but what else is calling for this range as a possible place for Cardano to be headed in the near future? Well, going back to that article, remember the percentage that it was saying we could see within the next couple of weeks, 40%. Well, if I were to take that from this current time of making this video, a 40% increase would bring us up to that 55-cent level. So this is just a little bit of confluence of thought coming in that if you're looking above us and saying, man, where could I potentially take some profit on the next rally of Cardano? 55 cents is looking like a very attractive spot at this point. But let's switch over to a different chart here and look at some other information going on with Cardano. This is my chart prime chart, one of my new favorite indicators that helps me really understand what is happening next. And you're going to notice with these reversal bands we have going on, even if I were to pull up Bollinger Bands to kind of confirm, right now Cardano is working towards constricting. Even out here on the daily chart, these bands are starting to get closer together, which tells us that we should be expecting some form of an explosive move coming soon. Should it be to the upside or the downside? That's yet to be determined. But watch as we're seeing these bands, not only Bollinger Bands, but also reversal zones starting to come together. The good news that we're seeing here is that we have just crossed back above this dynamic reactor that we have been below here on Cardano out on the daily chart ever since all the way back here up towards the beginning of the bear market back in November of 2021. We have used this dynamic reactor as resistance several times, and just now over the last couple of weeks have turned it green. So even if we move to the downside within these constricting Bollinger Bands, watch even these levels around 36 cents continue to be used as support with that dynamic reactor. But zooming in here to the 4-hourly chart, let's go ahead and take a closer look at what could be happening maybe over the next couple of days for Cardano. Zooming in here on the 4-hourly chart using Chart Prime, one of these cool indicator advantages that this one has is if you're not good at identifying levels of support and resistance, this indicator will do it for you. You can see this green line right here that goes all the way back to the 24th of January. It really easily could probably go all the way back to the 11th of January, but we'll stay with it where it is right now, is showing that this continues to be a level of support. At the time of making this video, we're currently retesting that support once again. But either way, there still is some push right here as we're constricting that a breakout should be coming very soon. While on bigger time frames, I'm leaning a little bit more bullish. There is something concerned right here that it's going to take a little bit of time for any type of bullish momentum to come in, and that's because of these predictive ranges that Chart Prime has for us. These could easily reset. As you can see over timeline, they reset all the time. But for right now, we are getting a little more overextended. So watch when we finally do break out of the Bollinger Bands, of these restricted ranges, watch for where these lines update. And what you're going to want to keep in mind is more often than not, price of a coin likes to stay within these gold bands, and anything above them you're starting to dabble in overbought territory. Anything below them you're starting to dabble in oversold territory. Right now we are towards the top, but with that constriction, watch to see when a breakout happens, what do these predictive ranges change into. So we're looking at a lot of different charts, and the biggest thing you should be taking away at this point is that we are about to have a big breakout for Cardano. Some believe it's going to be bullish, but there is a chance it could be to the downside. What are some levels that you should be looking at below us on Cardano to make sure if we go that far, you need to gobble up more supply? Moving back over to our main chart, I pulled up our fixed range volume profile, and I know it's going to be a little hard to see these candles, but if you look through them, you'll be able to see it. We just rejected here the other day, right in this key valley at 41 cents. This is really important. Breaking through that and moving to the upside, we're going to see more resistance around 46, but this is going to be the first level that Cardano bulls have to break through. If we cannot get up there, and if we end up falling back down to the downside, watch for several different levels to be very important. The first one starting with this key valley here around 33 cents, and the worst of it coming all the way down towards 31. Now, this would make a lot of sense to turn it back into support, and no matter what happens, this also would give us a new higher low. For example, since we hit this bottom back in December, we are going up and to the upside and working to create new highs. That's why it would be really nice to get above 43 cents to set an official new higher high. But as long as we begin a pattern of setting higher lows and we only come back down towards 31, 30 cents, this is still the beginnings of a bull market. So watch for these levels. If the price comes back down, these are looking like very, very attractive levels to be purchasing more Cardano. But there is a small chance this does not happen. Kind of confirming these levels, let's pull up the Fibonacci going to that bottom all the way up to the more recent peak we had here at 41 cents. There's kind of some backup going on here with that 30 to 31 cent region, as this is the location of the golden pocket. So one more thing saying, if the bears do take control and if we do see price action to the downside, not only should you be looking on that 33 cent region, which is where we're at about 0.5 level, watch for the golden pocket to happen back down around 30 cents to 31 cent region. If you are like me, you are excited for Cardano, and I'm excited for either direction we could be going here within the next couple of weeks. If we see a 40% rally, I've got my bags ready, and I'm ready to take some profit and continue to invest in this great project. But it's always a good idea, no matter what your thoughts are on the more macro trend, to prepare yourself for both rallies and dips, because that's when you'll set yourself up for the greatest success. Hopefully this video helped you out. Make sure you stay tuned for more content on Cardano and other coins just like it. And once again, if you do not already subscribe to this channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button and join us every single weekday morning for our daily live show. With that being said, though, that's all I have for you in this video, and I'll see you in the next one.